Welcome to another video from Amish, PA. Spring and summer are busy times on Lancaster County farms. Cover crops planted in the fall are often harvested for silage or baleage. A little later, alfalfa and other grasses will be ready for first cutting. There's no shortage of hay and silage making equipment in Amish land. On any given day in April through September, one may see machinery in the fields that was manufactured in the middle of the last century to machinery made in modern times. Ground-driven hay-making machinery pulled by horses, mules, and vintage tractors may be seen, as well as large modern batwing mowers and forage harvesters. Some Amish in the settlement still use ground-driven tethers, rakes, and sickle bar mowers, while others may have retrofitted older machinery to be run by small gasoline-powered engines. Others may power their haymaking tools through PTO shafts driven by power carts with diesel engines. There is no shortage of newer equipment either that is manufactured specifically for the horse farmer. Manufacturers of this equipment might be found within the Lancaster settlement, or in Indiana, or perhaps even Ohio. You might see some farmers running sickle bar mowers alone or in combination with a crimper. Others might be running different types of older model mower conditioner combinations. There's also plenty of diversity when it comes to making bales. Farmers may be seen making bales using vintage balers run by gasoline engines, or power through a PTO shaft connected to the power cart. Small bales are generally taken right from the baler by a farmer on the wagon. He'll take the bales and stack them neatly behind and above him as the wagon is filled. One item not seen often in the area are kicker balers. Occasionally, an English farmer might be seen running one of these. Older model round balers have become more popular in recent years. The bales are easier to store and wrapped for baleage, either singly or in those long white silage stakes you see in or near barnyards. Round bales come with their own challenges though. Being quite heavy, they are often picked up by skid steers or forklifts, especially if the ground is level enough. The large round bales will be stacked into a wagon and brought back to the barnyard. Those not using skid steers or forklifts might use an automatic bale wagon that picks the bale up using a hydraulic arm and places it onto the wagon. One thing is for certain: there is no one way or right way to make hay in Lancaster County's Amish land. Driving the back roads, you will see the old equipment, retrofitted old equipment, and even advanced equipment in use in America's Garden Spot. I hope you enjoy this look at the many ways hay is made in Amish land. I'll be back as the video progresses to point out some of the details of the equipment that you're seeing. You're seeing a ground-driven hay rake here. The hay rake makes the windrows that the baler will pick up. Ground-driven hay rakes sometimes create problems as they need to be moving to push the hay to the side. As turns are made, the rake slows or stops, and it's easy for them to get clogged up, often meaning the farmer has to manually clear them of the hay. Keep an eye open for these rakes as the farmer gets to the end of the field and needs to turn back around. At the other end of this field, we're coming upon a small square baler in use. Notice it is run by a small engine mounted on the front of it. The horses are connected to a fork cart, which is attached to the baler. Fork carts are unpowered, as this one, or are powered. We'll see those in a bit. This is a cover crop being baled here. The crop is not dried down, so these bales will be either wrapped in plastic for ensilage or fed into a chopper blower and put into a vertical silo. Let's leave this field and let's go check in where some large bales are being made. Again, this is a cover crop being baled green. The moisture level is at a point where it needs to be in order for fermentation to occur correctly. More than likely, these bales will be wrapped individually or in series in one of those snake-like tubes, rather than fed into a chopper blower and put into a vertical silo. One of the benefits of brown baling like this is how much less labor is needed to get these bales done. One farmer can actually do the entire job himself, whereas in the small baling, it takes at least two, more than likely three, one to drive the horses and two on the wagon. Here comes the skid steer. Whoa, did a little header there. He's lining these up so they can pick them up, put them on the wagons a little bit easier later. If you've been in the Georgetown area on the main road, you've seen that cemetery. Here's some more round baling getting done. You'll notice that this is a team of 6 mules and horses, whereas the last one was a team of 5. Here's a good view of the powered forecart that's powering the PTO shaft to power the baler. That's probably in the neighborhood of 175 horsepower. It's a diesel engine. Let's buzz away from here and let's head on over to another farm where some small bales are being made. Notice how much longer the small bale setup is compared to the round baler. With the round baler, you have your team, you have your forecart, then you have your baler. Here, you have your team, you have your forecart, you got your baler, and then you got your bale wagon. It's definitely a much longer setup and a little bit more difficult to maneuver. Here's a good view of the small engine that's mounted on the baler. Just a piece down the road, the baling is already done. Here, instead of a skid steer gathering the heavy round bales, an automatic hay wagon is in use. It's operated by a small gasoline engine and a hydraulic setup. Watch as the operator expertly maneuvers his team and operates the controls to pick these bales up. I bet they wish they had 3 hands for these types of chores. That sure is a beautiful team of Belgian draft horses there. Let's leave this exhibition of expert horsemanship and head over to see a small engine-operated tedder in use. A tedder spreads the material out so it can dry better. It only takes a small gas engine to run these types of tedders. Being powered by an engine like this keeps the tedder moving at a consistent speed, irregardless of how fast the team is being driven. We're flying over these beautiful shades of spring green to see some cover crop being cut. This crop is likely to be wheat, rye, or triticale. The crop is being mowed by a powered sickle bar mower. There are only a few farmers still using ground-driven sickle bar mowers in this area. You're more than likely to see ground-driven mowers in the more conservative Amish settlements, such as those found in the Big Valley, New Wilmington, Smicksburg, or Juniata settlements. If you're familiar with the Lancaster County area, you probably know where this location is. Sickle bars come with their own set of problems, one of which is they tend to get clogged up quite regularly, especially when cutting a heavy crop or a viney crop like alfalfa. Having them powered rather than ground driven cuts down on the problem, but not completely. Here he's using the hydraulics to shake off the clog that's formed up around the bar. Here's the issue with the ground-driven rake that I mentioned earlier. Watch as the farmer turns the rake around. The revolving motion of the rake stops as the wheels stop rotating. This causes the material to clump up and be pulled along, not making a very good windrow. A powered rake, turning regardless if the wheels are turning or not, does not have this problem and clears the hay to the side even while turning around. As we pull back our view here, are you familiar with this area? Sickle bar mowers are seen less and less in Lancaster County. Many farmers have turned to using a more modern mower, such as this mower conditioner combination you see here. The grass is cut and fed through a crimper to aid in drying. These will always be powered by the powered forecart. There's generally much less clogging of these types of mowers compared to the sickle bar mower. Here we're coming upon another sickle bar mower, but this one has a little bit different setup to it. In addition to the sickle bar, there's also a mower conditioner attached. This allows the grass previously cut by the sickle bar to be conditioned rather than just laid down without crimping. Would you consider this an unlucky or a lucky breakdown? He's done mowing and his wheel just comes off. Are you a half full type of person or a half empty type of person? Here we're going to zoom in on a powered rake. Notice when he turns the corner that the rake keeps moving rather than clogging up. These powered rakes have been just the ticket while raking these heavy cover crops like this. I hope you've enjoyed the video so far, as we've taken a look at the different types of haying equipment in use in Lancaster County's Amish land. I'll leave you here to enjoy the rest of the video without interruption. Thanks for watching.